Coming up on F1 24/7 this week, Formula 1 finally revealed its provisional 2021 calendar. Toto Wolff could join Aston Martin sooner rather than later. Formula 2 and Formula 3 release cost-cut measures from 2021, and we look how Lewis Hamilton can clinch his 7th world title at Turkey this weekend. Formula 1 in 2020 has been very unique, and some could say it's almost like being in a dream. We've revisited some classic tracks such as Turkey and Imola, and gone back to some countries that we haven't been to in well over 20 years, which of course was Portugal for that matter, as well as mixing it in with a couple of current Formula 1 tracks. It's been a brilliant season so far, despite what was going on with the world pandemic, which of course cancelled the original 2020 calendar. It's been a season like no other, which I think that's something Christian Horner said at the end of Drive to Survive Season 2, which premiered I think about roughly before the season started back in February, in March time, and I'm enjoying it. I don't know about you guys, but I am enjoying it. The different calendar, the different tracks we're going to, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, the reason why I'm saying it's a dream is because 2019 was just like normal, like a normal calendar, 2021 races, going to the same countries at the same time in the same month. 2020, throw it all together, just start in Austria and end in December at Abu Dhabi. On my birthday. There's never an F1 race on my birthday, the 13th of December, by the way. Send me a birthday card in the post if you want to, or hate mail, whatever you want, really. I'm going to witness a F1 race on my birthday for possibly the only ever time in my life. It's at Abu Dhabi, but hey, I would take it. I'd take it. At least it's not Russia, though, or Spain. So that's a positive. However, next year, we're going to wake up and go back to reality, which is probably a good thing. But in F1 terms, we're going back to some very unique races. Yeah, we'll go back to Spain, we'll go back to Monaco, we're going to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, back to reality, guys, back to normal. But never mind, of course, this week the F1 2021 provisional calendar was released this week. So, and let's have a look at it actually whilst we are on the topic. Now, of course, we normally always start in Australia, which is where we are starting in 2021, which I must admit, I love starting in Australia. For over here, it's an early race, about 6 o'clock in the morning. I love getting up early for a Grand Prix. Of course, big respect to all the other non-European people who have got, of course, to get up early, week in, week out, fully respected. But I love getting up early for a Grand Prix. Then we'll go off to Bahrain in China, and then we have a TBC. Now, that was the original slot for the Vietnamese Grand Prix, which this week has been cancelled for political reasons. I think the guy running the show, or one of the guys involved, was arrested on fraud charges, so that's why the race has been cancelled. So we had to go to Vietnam, but never mind. And then, of course, we will be starting possibly the European season, like I said, TBC, unknown as to where we could be going. We're starting in Spain. Then we've got to go to Monaco, Azerbaijan, Canada, France, Austria, Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, and then for the Hungarian Grand Prix round 12, which will mark the halfway point of the season. Season will, of course, then kick off for the second half of the season, traditionally at the Belgian Grand Prix. Then it's off to the Italian Grand Prix. Wow, okay, we're not going to the Italian Grand Prix straight after the Belgian Grand Prix. We're going to the Netherlands. Now, Netherlands was originally supposed to be the first European race of 2020, but because of COVID and everything, that race had to be cancelled. And then it was scheduled, or supposed to be happening, a lot later in 2021. And it's been officially confirmed it's going to be doing that. It was predicted to be the last European race of the season. It isn't going to be. It's going to be the penultimate round of the European season. We will then conclude in Monza, as we normally do every single season. Then it's off to Russia. Less said about that, the better. Then it's off to Singapore, Japan, USA, Mexico, Brazil at Sao Paulo, not Rio de Janeiro as it was predicted. That's good news. Saudi Arabia, meh. And we finish off in Abu Dhabi like we normally do. So that is the calendar. That is the destinations where we're going to be going in 2021. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. So let's talk about that one race that has not been officially announced. Where are we going to be going? Well, reports are saying that it could be Turkey, because Turkey has said that they are very, well, highly interested in coming back to the F1 calendar. Now, of course, there's other tracks that are linked with the return to Formula One, like Imola was a very one in high popular demand. Mugello was very, very popular by the fans, saying that should be replaced by another some tracks as well. Portimao as well. People were saying get rid of Spain, bring in Portimao. So it could be one of those tracks making a heroic return to the full F1 2020 calendar. But if you ask me, the one place I want to go to more than anything in the world is Sepang. Please, Formula One, please, let's go back to Sepang. I've seen Josh Ravel did a video about the African Grand Prix saying hashtag African Grand Prix, bring Africa to Formula One. I'm going to start a campaign which will get no followers, no interaction. Do I care? Not really. Hashtag bring back Sepang. Get it trending on Twitter, guys. Get the message out there. Let's go back to Sepang. Who doesn't like Sepang? It's a brilliant circuit. Loads of overtaking opportunities. The weather is so unpredictable. 1 minute it's dry. Next minute, monsoon weather. I mean, come on, guys. Let's go back to Sepang. I love Portimao. I love Mugello. Very good circuits. But they're not Malaysia. Let's go back to Malaysia. Please, Formula One, please. If anything, I'm predicting it'll be Turkey. I think Turkey, they are like the favourites to get that slot. But we never know what might happen. We could get a brand new track. For all we know, it's going to be very interesting. But I want to know your guys' opinions. Where do you think we will be going? Well, actually, two decisions. Where do you think we'll be going, and where do you want to be going? A brand new destination or a destination that we have been there before? Let me know in the comment section below. This should be interesting. So back onto the serious news now, and Toto Wolff could be joining Aston Martin sooner than we think. Not my words, words of former Marussia driver Max Chilton. He's spoken out this week to the media and said that he expects Toto Wolff to go to Aston Martin very, very soon. Sooner than we expected, as I quoted from him. Now, Toto Wolff has publicly come out and said that he doesn't know his own future because there's rumours that he could be stepping down as Mercedes team principal and going off to a higher role at Mercedes, or even going off to Aston Martin where he's got a little bit of shares in. Mercedes have increased their stake in shares in the Aston Martin brand. Lawrence Stroll, of course, he owns the Royal Racing Point team, which will soon be rebranded as Aston Martin. And ever since that particular moment, there's been lots of images of Stroll and Wolff kind of hugging each other and, you know, talking. Well, not hugging, of course, COVID and everything, but you know what I mean, talking, doing a little bit of negotiations behind the scenes. I don't know what the plan is, but there has been a lot of talk, and they seem to be good friends, very good businessmen as well. They know what they are doing. Now, could I see this happening? Could I see Toto Wolff jumping ship from Mercedes to Aston Martin? I could. Now, firstly of all, before people go, oh, well, hang on a minute, he's in a brilliant position at Mercedes. Of course he is. Mercedes, what Toto Wolff has done at Mercedes is incredible ever since he took the role as team principal, which was 2014, by the way. Ross Brawn was at the helm in 2013. I think Toto Wolff joined then as some sort of executive, I think it was, quite a high role. And of course, he had shares in Mercedes themselves. That's why he went over from Williams in the first place. Once Ross Brawn stepped down and took a break from Formula One, Toto Wolff was then employed as team principal. And I think it's been a bit of a success. Just a little one. I mean, he's never lost a season yet ever since he's been at the helm. Since 2014, Mercedes have won every single year. And in that time, there was a regulation change. In fact, there was 2 regulation changes, if I'm not mistaken. So Mercedes is just unstoppable. So why does he want to leave a team like Mercedes, where the well-oiled machine, they are just working so well, morale has never been higher, they're going to win, well, they've won the 7th, Lewis Hamilton is on the brink of winning the 7th World Drivers' title, matching Michael Schumacher. Why does Wolff want to be leaving Mercedes? Well, if you're winning all the time, right? So when Toto Wolff first came into Mercedes, they were just a mediocre midfield team. They had a really good season in 2013. And I think a lot of people expected Mercedes to do well from 2010 onwards because they inherited the Brawn team that did so well in 2009. So everyone was thinking Mercedes are going to be the next dominant force. But that wasn't the case in the V8 era. And so people were like, here we go. Here's another Toyota, Jaguar, a big car manufacturer comes into Formula One. They've been in the sport for a long time as an engine manufacturer. Now coming in as a full works team. It's not going to work. They're going to pump loads of money at it, and it's just going to fail. Not necessarily, because they just went, forget the V8 era, let's go towards the V6 era, the turbo hybrid era. And they've hit the nail sweetly on the head. Very, very impressive stuff. And they are still dominating to this day. Won every race apart from 2, I believe, in 2020. Is it 2? It is 2. I think it's 2. I hope it's 2. It is 2. Right. So, Mercedes have just been incredible this season. I mean, the team is just getting stronger and stronger, blitzing the Ferrari era. Of course, the 2 different eras. Ferrari won 6 in a row. Mercedes won 7 in a row. They do not look like a little blimp of slowing down anytime soon. And of course, with 2021, not much development going on from this season to next season with the car-wise. I think we're expecting Mercedes to do quite well next season, as well as, of course, this season. But the thing is, though, if you're winning all the time and stuff, Toto Wolff will be wanting a new challenge with something, whether that's a higher role at Mercedes so he's not involved with the team, he can do something else, or whether it's just let's see if I can do it again. Let's start all over again. Let's go to Aston Martin. It could be a longer project, but it's worth the risk. I mean, he's got a brilliant CV behind him. He's a brilliant, very intelligent man. He knows his business. He's a very good businessman. And to be fair, if Aston Martin want to be the next dominant force, Toto Wolff is your ideal guy. There's even talk of Lewis Hamilton hopping ship over there, which I think is more unlikely of Hamilton going to Aston Martin than there is of Wolff going to Aston Martin as well. But I mean, if Hamilton just jump ship to Aston Martin, I mean, Aston Martin have got a brilliant team. It literally is the Mercedes 2.0, but never mind. So yeah, I could see Wolff jumping ship over to Mercedes. However, I don't think it's absolutely certain. I think Wolff is assessing his future. He will be looking at his plans, going, what is the best option for me? What do I want to do? Do I still want to be doing a day-to-day running of an F1 team? Or do I want to take a more higher role, a more prolific role within the sport? I think he wants to be involved in Formula 1 still. He likes the sport, doesn't he? That's why he's here. I just think maybe, does he want to still be in the mix of the media, of talking to people, of being the man in charge? Or does somebody else want to take the reins so he can, do something a bit better, do something a bit different at the same time? What do you guys think as well? Where do you think Toto Wolff could be going in the future? Is he going to Aston Martin? Is he staying with Mercedes? Is he going somewhere else from Formula 1? Could be going to Formula E. There's talk of him going to Formula E, which, for the Mercedes team, I don't really put that past him, if I'm being totally honest. Where do you think Wolff will go in not even 2021, in the future? Let me know in the comment section below. Formula 2 and Formula 3 is getting more and more popular each year. Every single year, more and more people are turning their attention to the rising stars of Formula 1, the next generation of brilliant world champions, race winners, podium sitters, and maybe people who will never go on the podium, like this guy over here, but never mind. And if you ever do go to a Grand Prix, you will know that wherever there's Formula 1, 9 times out of 10, there's Formula 2 and there's Formula 3 to get your to get your motorsport fix if you do need it. And I'll be honest, I've become a big fan of both F2 and F3 in 2020. I've followed the series a lot closer than I've ever done during my following of Formula 1. I really have loved the series. But some things are going to be changed next season to reduce costs. Now, we all know the COVID pandemic has hit a lot of companies hard as well. Formula 1 teams as well. It's hit quite a few of them hard. McLaren had to make sacrifices. Williams had to sell their team and stuff. And of course, other teams had to make changes. Let staff go, make a few changes here and there to make ends meet. And of course, the lower down you go, the harder it is going to be, because teams like Mercedes and Ferrari, they're going to be okay. They've got enough money behind them. But the lower categories, they don't have the budget. So Formula 2, well, the FIA obviously had to work with F2 and F3. And just to reduce some costs, because of course the sport is very expensive. And like I said, with the COVID, I would say times will be tough for them. But they have come up with a solution that will be put into place from 2021 onwards, and they are as follow. There'll be a decrease in costs of engine lease and of some spare parts. Logistic and freight costs are also to be decreased. No new F2 car will be introduced for the next 3-year cycle, 2021 to 2023. F3 cars are current spec to remain unchanged in 2021 and are likely to stay the same in the following seasons, so same as Formula 2 essentially in the next couple of years. F2 and F3 championships to race at fewer venues in order to save the team's variable costs. Formula 2's 2021 calendar will be 8 rounds and a total of 24 races, while Formula 3's 2021 calendar will comprise of 7 rounds and a total of 21 races, thus increasing overall mileage. All 2021 F2 and F3 events will take place alongside Formula 1, and F2 and F3 will no longer race on the same weekend. So yeah, some sacrifices there from Formula 2 and Formula 3. So if you do go to the Grand Prix now, you're either going to get F2 or F3, and it's not going to be F2 and F3. What do I think of these changes? I think they're fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that. If I'm being totally honest with you, I did like the fact you could watch F2 and F3 at a Grand Prix circuit, but that's fine. There's now more races, so there'll be 3 races on a weekend and not 2, as you would normally get as well. So I think there'll be 1 practice, 1 qualifying, and then 3 races, or there could be 2 qualifying and 3 races. I don't know what the plan is, but that's just what we've got for now. And I think something needed to be done for Formula 2 and Formula 3 for them to be able to keep on going, because, you know, a category like F2 and F3, it's very important. Of course it is. You know, we've seen some brilliant drivers come through the ranks of F2 and F3, such as George Russell, Alex Albon, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton when it was called GP2 at the time. So a lot of drivers have come through this particular series, but they're also drivers that haven't come through that series, so such as Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Kvyat, just those drivers off the top of my head. They didn't go through F2 and F3. They went through different categories of motorsport. So, but I think it is critical to keep, you know, costs low of a series like that, especially with the times that we are in. And it isn't going to get better overnight. It's going to be, you know, for the next couple of years, a lot of teams will be hitting financially, will be hitting quite hard for these, of course, what's going on with the current pandemic and stuff like that. So it is going to be like a long-term thing. So it's not going to be like we'll change it for 1 year and then we'll go back to normal for the next. It's got to be, you know, a continuous thing until everything else hopefully is stable. I mean, they could revert back to a full-time calendar in the future. I don't know. This could be a permanent thing. I really don't know. It doesn't say that. It's just these are the new changes. They might revert back to them in 2026 or 2027. I really don't know. We've got to wait and see on that. But no, I think these changes are fine. I think, you know, just pick whatever race you want to go to. If you want to go to Spain, I think you get Formula 3. If you go to Silverstone, you get Formula 2. Of course, I have released the calendar, which I'll put up on screen right now for you guys, so you can see them as well. So, yeah, I mean, not too bad. I mean, I would say the F3 calendar is a bit better than the F2 calendar, I'm not going to lie. But, of course, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. The changes to Formula 2 and Formula 3, are these going to work? Are these going to save, you know, teams in the category? Is it going to save the category itself? What changes would you add to this? What changes would you take away? What changes would you just do in general if there aren't any on this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Lewis Hamilton is on the brink of becoming a 7-time Formula 1 world champion, matching the great Michael Schumacher. What an achievement that is going to be. Let's face it, he's in pole position, pun intended, to take the title. Now, only a Mercedes driver can win the title now after the Imola Grand Prix, as it was called. Max Verstappen, of course, retired. Therefore, Mercedes clinched the constructors, and only a Mercedes driver can now win the title. It's either going to be Hamilton or Valtteri Bottas. But let's face it, Lewis Hamilton is more than likely going to be winning it. So, what are the permutations heading into the Turkish Grand Prix this weekend? Well, Hamilton will be world champion if he finishes the race ahead of Bottas on Sunday. Bottas must outscore Hamilton by at least 8 points to take the title fight to the following round in Bahrain. So Bottas has to finish 8 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So therefore, if Bottas wins the race, Hamilton's got to finish 3rd or lower. Yeah. Unless Bottas gets fastest lap and Lewis Hamilton finishes 2nd. But that's not going to happen, is it? I mean, I could have jinxed it. It might happen. I don't know. I might rewatch this after the race and see whether I was right or not. But I can't see it happening. I think Hamilton will clinch the title. And if he doesn't clinch it in Turkey, more than likely he will be clinching it in Bahrain at some point. Bottas is not going to win it, unfortunately. I would love to see a title fight all the way to the very end. However, I don't think that is going to be the case this season. Hamilton will be world champion this year. It's gonna be 7. But the question now is, though, will he be here to go for his 8th world title in 2021. There's talk of him not going to be here next season. What's he going to be doing? That's for a different story, and hopefully we might have some answers after the Turkish Grand Prix this weekend. And finally, word on the street. Now, word on the street is there is no word on the street because there's no transfer rumours or anything like that. Well, there is, but we've kind of covered them in previous F1 24/7s, and I don't really want to go over them again. Like, you've got the whole Albon thing going on, which we've already covered. We've got the who's going to Haas, which we've already covered. Alfa Romeo, which we've already covered. So there's nothing really going on in the media as such. I couldn't find anything anyways. Of course, if I am wrong, then let me know in the comment section below. Leave me a link to the article that you might have seen where something that we haven't discussed before, then that would be pretty cool. But no, there's no word on the street. Like I said before, word on the street will be a transfer segment only. So if there's no transfer rumours or anything like that, then there's going to be no word on the street. So unfortunately, that's where we're going to end F1 24/7 news for this week. Thank you so much for watching as always. If you're new around here, then please drop us a like and hit that subscribe button as well. It will be great for you guys to stick around for more videos as well. Agree or disagree will be coming tomorrow, which we can't wait for as well. We love a bit of an agree or disagree, hearing your guys' opinions. We of course ask you guys to send us in your F1 opinions. We'll then pick a few and say whether we agree or disagree and explain why. F1 Debater podcast on SoundCloud will be dropping at 6 p.m. UK time, GMT, and we'll be clipping one video, or well, one part of the podcast and uploading it to our YouTube channel about 1 o'clock GMT, I think it might be. I don't know when practice is because I think it's an earlier weekend, so we'll have to wait. I'll have to wait and see what time we upload the clip. But go and follow us on Twitter at F1_day16 to keep updated as to when we upload videos. And then on Sunday we have the Turkish Grand Prix. We'll be doing a race reaction straight after the race, and Lyle will be doing that. So go and check it out when he uploads that video and get his reaction of the Grand Prix, and of course leave your opinions with him. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Watch what you're doing. Stay safe as always, and until next time, I'll see you later.